Previously on What the Media Won't Tell You About King Charles III.
Included in the list of potential godfathers for his son Harry was none other than Jimmy Savile, English TV and radio personality, host of Jim'll Fix It. Charles was so close with Savile, in fact, that he asked him for advice over the appointment of a senior aide for him and Princess Diana. But did you know that it was actually Charles's Twitter account who marked the launch of the Great Reset? Hey internet friends, we've all heard the saying, birds of a feather flock together, meaning that people who are alike, sharing similar qualities, interests, goals, and extracurriculars, well, they tend to hang out together. Do you agree that a man can be judged by the company he keeps? Or is guilt by association just that? Baseless and misleading. Today we're going to be talking about King Charles III's inner circle and their scandals. The ones we didn't have a chance to cover in previous videos. These close connections are important, especially with King Charles III being crowned the woke king of the New World Order. His reign affects us all. So what does the character of the inner circle reflect upon our king? First, we must discuss Lord Louis Mountbatten, a high-ranking British commander, the uncle to Prince Philip, and second cousin of Queen Elizabeth II because the royal family is historically super inbred. Sweet Home Alabama style. And Mountbatten was the great-uncle of King Charles III, and he was known to everybody in the royal family as Uncle Dickie. While born in England, Mountbatten came from a family called the Battenbergs, a family of German descent. Just like the current reigning royal house, House of Windsor, they technically have German ancestry but British identity. Prince Philip and his uncle had a close relationship, as Uncle Mountbatten took on a father figure role after Philip's family was exiled from Greece in the 1920s. And it was also his uncle who reportedly introduced Prince Philip to Elizabeth when she was 13 and not yet queen. Prince Charles described his uncle as the grandfather he never had, his mentor, and he was so influential in the royal family that Prince William and Kate Middleton named their youngest son Louis after Uncle Mountbatten. After Uncle Dickie died in an IRA assassination bombing in 1979, rumors about his extracurriculars swirled. And in 2019, an FBI dossier released through the Freedom of Information Act revealed that he and his wife were, quote, persons of extremely low morals, end quote. And Mountbatten had a perversion for young boys. American intelligence officers began piling this dossier back in 1944, and one of their reports detailed that, quote, Baroness Desies stated that Mountbatten was known to be a homosexual with a perversion for young boys, and was an unfit man to direct any sort of military operations because of this condition. She stated that, further, that his wife, Lady Mountbatten, was considered equally erratic. And E.E. Conroy, the head of the New York FBI field office, added in the file that the Baroness appears to have no special motive in making the above statements, end quote. Mountbatten's preference for young boys, not men or women, was confirmed by his driver in a 1987 interview, who said he used to transport young boys ages 8 to 12 to Lord Mountbatten, who subdued them with brandy spiked lemonade. Where'd they get the boys, and what happened to the boys after? Certainly they were old enough to report this type of abuse to the police, but apparently they didn't. So did they get killed after? Why does no one ask stuff like this? Do we not ask because we already know the answer? So it comes as no surprise that prolific pedo-sadist and TV host of Jim'll Fix It, Jimmy Savile, told reporters that he was introduced into the royal family in 1966 through Lord Mountbatten. I told you in my previous video that Prince Charles considered Savile his best friend at one point, and Savile was on the list for godfathers for Prince Charles's son. And Prince Charles even looked to Savile for relationship advice for his marriage to Princess Diana. Savile wrote a PR handbook for the royal family and regularly advised Prince Charles in political matters. and it is through Savile's royal ties that he was afforded key positions at hospitals and psychiatric wards, where he had his own set of keys to these hospitals, his own rooms under the roofs, so he had 24/7 access to his victims, children and adults alike, living or dead. In response to relaying this information, I had hundreds of comments that said there was no way Prince Charles knew what Savile got up to. He was a criminal mastermind. Yeah, right. You know that Savile was vetted and followed by British intelligence. They knew exactly what he was up to, and he was probably allowed into the inner circle because of it. Don't be a dunce. Savile was knighted by Queen Elizabeth II at Buckingham Palace in 1990, making him Sir Jimmy Savile, just like Prince Charles awarded honorary knighthood to Kevin Spacey in 2016 for his, quote, service to the theater. The only difference is we found out all of Jimmy Savile's pedo and necrophilia allegations post-mortem. Meanwhile, Kevin Spacey's charges arrived while he was still alive and kicking. 1 year later, in 2017, Spacey was charged for assaulting a 14-year-old boy in Britain. All in all, Spacey has been accused of sexual misconduct by more than a dozen men. It should be noted that 3 of Kevin Spacey's accusers have died shortly under mysterious circumstances after they spoke out about his behavior. Do y'all remember after these allegations, Kevin Spacey released that really weird video where he was by the fireplace, and at the very end of the video, he said he'll kill his enemies with kindness, and there was ominous music. I'll roll the clip.
The next time someone does something you don't like, you can go on the attack, but you can also hold your fire and do the unexpected. You can kill them with kindness.
Fun fact, just like King Charles, Kevin Spacey is a member of the World Economic Forum. I wish we could go one video without talking about the World Economic Forum. Kevin Spacey is part of the Great Reset. I covered the connection between the Great Reset, World Economic Forum, and King Charles, the woke king, in my previous video, so I'll link it below. And just like King Charles's brother, Prince Andrew, there's about 1 million pictures of Kevin Spacey and Ghislaine Maxwell with his links to Epstein and Lolita Express. In this photo we're looking at here, Ghislaine Maxwell sits on a throne at Buckingham Palace alongside actor Kevin Spacey. That's the caption. It is believed to have been taken in 2002. And just to be fair, just to note this, there's a big difference between a celebrity taking a picture with another celebrity at an event and the obvious comfort of 2 people being photographed together who very much seem like they're around each other all the time. As I covered in the previous video, the royal family took some heat from Prince Andrew and his tarnished reputation. And of course, Prince Andrew was caught hanging out with Epstein after Epstein was convicted. Additionally, we all know that Prince Andrew stayed at Epstein's house and rode on the infamous Lolita Express to Epstein's Island. His alleged victims have spoken out against him, and as a result, his mother, Queen Elizabeth II, forced him to return his military affiliations and was excused of any royal duties in January of 2022. But don't forget, Prince Andrew used £12 million of taxpayer money to settle his sexual assault case. So Prince Andrew basically just gets a slap on the wrist, and he wore his full military regalia to the Queen's funeral. He groped his daughter during the funeral, but the 22-year-old man who heckled Prince Andrew at his mom's funeral was arrested and charged with a breach of the peace.
Disgusting! Wait, I've done nothing wrong. That powerful men should be allowed to commit sexual crimes and get away with it.
The royal family murdered and plundered the peasants to colonize more territories and expand their empire not so many generations ago. Do you really think abusing some children matters to them? I demonstrated in this video that that practice is most likely normalized to them, as they have all been exposed to generational abuse. And do you really think they care about you? They're subjects. It's clear they see themselves as above us. Otherwise, why declare themselves rulers, royalty, kings, and queens in this age? They are above the law. Their actions have no consequence. They can pay to make their problems go away, and that's just the reality of it. That's their history. They married child brides, married their cousins, chopped people's heads off a couple 100 years ago, beheaded queens and all that. What's a little car crash in a tunnel to make a problem go away when this is normalized behavior in your family? Royalists in my comment section will tell me that I have no manners or decorum for showing you the reality of King Charles III just a few days after the death of Queen Elizabeth. They'll say that the House of Windsor are just figureheads, nothing more. So why do I care who's king? I'm American after all, shouldn't I just mind my own business? Don't we have our own problems here that I need to focus on? It's clear as day that King Charles III is the king of the New World Order. It's why he declared the Great Reset. It's why he's the woke prince. His reign affects us all, as he influences elections and policies worldwide. Do these connections, events, and allegations not at least warrant questioning? Ultimately, I have no regrets in exposing the reality of King Charles III. My only regret is that I don't have enough time, energy, or resources to roast him more thoroughly while the bought and paid for media sings his praises. What do you think, internet friends? You know, I always look forward to reading your comments. Thank you so much for watching, subscribing, and supporting my channel on Patreon. Bye!